What if I told you you can boost your ELO 1200 to 1800 with this one opening? I'm sure you won't believe me, right? Then, let me prove you wrong. By the end of the video, you will be able to sacrifice like this in your own games and shock your opponent. Make sure you watch it till the end. First, we're going to see the traps that can occur in this line, and I will show you my games one by one, and I will explain how dangerous this is to the opponent. Let's start the game now. We will start the game with the move e5, the king's pawn opening. And here is the annoying move c6. This is called the Caro-Kann Defense. The basis idea for black here is to fight for the center with the move pawn d7 to d5. Here we will play d4, grabbing more center, and black plays d5. We will push the e5 pawn, closing the center and controlling the important d6 and f6 square. Black plays c5. It's all the theory moves of the Caro-Kann. You will usually see it. We will capture the pawn, and black will play the standard move knight c6, attacking the e5 pawn. We will play nf3, bishop g4. Pawn to c3. Now let me flip the board for you and ask you a question. What will you play in this position as black? I'm sure 99% of you think to take the pawn on e5, since the defender of that pawn is pinned. If you take the pawn with knight, then pack your bag and say bye-bye to this game. Here we will play a move that will give a heart attack to your opponent, which is knight takes knight, sacrificing our queen. Black will have to capture the queen, or else black is a piece down. So black captures queen, and we will play bishop c5 check. Since the king don't have a legal move, so the queen have to block. Then bishop takes the queen. You think fun is over. No, you are wrong. Black have to move his king to d8. Then we will capture their f7 pawn with check. It forks the king and the rook. King takes bishop. And we won't take the rook since that rook is going nowhere. We will capture the bishop. Black king moves to e6 to attack the knight. And now we will capture the rook. Now look at this position. Who do you think will win in this position? You will miss this kind of chess tricks and tips if you don't subscribe and press the bell icon. So what are you waiting for? Let's go back. I will show you another variation which we will play. Here, instead of pushing a pawn, we will push our f-pawn one step ahead. If black pawn takes our pawn, then we will recapture it. And now black pushes a pawn to attack the center. Here we won't capture it. We will develop our knight to f3, protecting the d-pawn. Here, if their pawn takes our pawn, then we won't recapture it. Instead, we will play bishop c4. Now here, look at the black pieces. They all are cramped up in their initial squares, where white is already in the lead in development. And the most natural-looking move for black is knight to f6 and moving the bishop so that black can castle. Let's see what happens if their knight moves to f6. We will castle. And note that knight can't take the pawn on a5 because of this. Rook a one move, pinning the knight, so black plays bishop c5. It's the natural-looking move, since it's a discovery check from the bishop if the pawn moves. Here, we will play knight g5, attacking this f7 pawn. Black castle to the safety. And can you find a winning move for the white in this position? I will give you 5 seconds to find it out. Okay, if you found bishop takes f7, then congratulations. You are going to be in 1800 ELO soon. Here, rook captures the bishop. Knight captures, king captures. And we will play queen h5. Check with an attack to this bishop. We are an exchange up, and white is winning. So, knight to f6 is not a good response here. What if black tries bishop g4, pinning our knight? Then again, we will play bishop c4. Black plays knight f6, attacking this pawn. Then we will slap him with the move bishop f7, sacrificing our bishop. King takes f7, knight f5 check. King e8. Knight takes g4. Knight takes g4. Queen takes g4. And we are simply a piece up, and white is winning. Now let's see the best move for black from here. The best move for black in this position is knight d7. Then we will play c3, protecting the pawn. And for some surprise move that we will see soon, knight g to f6, attacking this pawn. We will play queen b3, attacking the pawn, and it create a battery along this diagonal with bishop. Black will have to move the queen to e7. Then we will capture the pawn on b7. It attacks the rook and the pawn. Rook b8 attacks the queen. We will simply capture the pawn on c6. If their pawn takes on d4, trying to open up the center, then we will play bishop f4. Here, if rook captures the pawn on b2, thinking that it's a free pawn, then say bye-bye to the game. We will play queen c8 check. Queen have to block the check. And now again we will slap him in the face with the move bishop takes f7 with the check. Here king cannot capture the bishop because their queen hangs, so black will have to play king a7. Can you find the winning move that will lead black queen undefended? Comment down if you find it. I will give you a heart if your answer is correct.